Why would I just not make my own shit and just have small battles to make little fun of candy corn or fall forever and just let these stack up in my own little way? It's trivial shit, sure. But I got to tell you, slow and steady wins the race and also feeds the soul. Every person who bought one of these had a good time with these things. I got my heart broken on that big shit. Imagine doing that all year long. I fucking go nuts.
How have you decided, instead of spending your time and your energy working for somebody else, to sort of turn that around and actually spend it, your time and your energy working, on your own product? And how do you think about your own brands when you sort of create them? Because now you're not going to get paid a fee. You have to ultimately sell something if you want to get any kind of dollars back into the bank.
You throw your hats in the ring, you do the pitch. Sometimes you get the pitch, sometimes you don't. I made a nice chunk of money for my exploration. But I gave 2 months of my life for this stuff. And I guess it wasn't the start of summer. It was April and May. I gave 2 months of my life where every morning when I came into this shop, the first email I was scared and concerned about was from that project. They went right to the top of all my life, right? And I made a nice chunk over that couple months because this is the big leagues. But let's just say I didn't get that job. And whatever that money was, I was able to make it with this stuff. Why did I take that bait? Because I was trained to take that bait. Aaron, this is the big leagues. They do stuff that goes global. To get my fucking payment was more work than the work I did. To get into systems and having to prove that I'm not a fucking financial wreck and all this other shit. There's just hoops, hurdles, whip-de-doos, paperwork, a mile thick, just to get in there so I can get my paycheck. And then when we're done with the project, I don't even know if it's done. I never heard back. Now I get paid. It's 90 days to get paid. And if you want to get paid in 60, they take 2% off. If you want to get paid in 30, you can take whatever it was. It was just like, why would I just not make my own shit and just have small battles to make little fun of candy corn or fall forever and just let these stack up in my own little way? It's trivial shit, sure. But I got to tell you, slow and steady wins the race and also feeds the soul. Every person who bought one of these had a good time with these things. I got my heart broken on that big shit. Imagine doing that all year long. I fucking go nuts. When I got into graphic design, and 94, 95, whatever that was, 93, and I started to see the heroic element, which was like looking through these big annuals and picking out things I liked. And it might have been Chuck Anderson or Modern Dog or House Industries, things I liked, right? And what was cool about like a House Industries is you couldn't tell if it was just a bunch of designers in a room making cool shit for themselves. Turns out it was. Because my interaction was like, oh, they make typefaces and they sell mouse pads and cool things and magazines and stuff. And who does that? It's like they were making and charting their own course. So I got that permission. That comes also from skateboarding and kind of punk rockery too. When it was my turn to be someone who could maybe make his own hat or something, first of all, it was absurd. Like, who wants to have, DDC on their hat? Well, it turns out a bunch of people did, which was cool. Friends first. But you come into it and you just kind of say, like, there's no knife against my throat, like saying, if I don't sell these, I'm going to be in trouble. No, it's 48 hats. Who gives a shit? I'm going to make them for my friends and just give them and let people enjoy them. What I learned when I started this stuff was like, the voiceless, or those who aren't in the right room, or the right cliched like click or something, the same old shit. You could do a lot of stuff and it'll never show up because you're trying to do stuff that those in the cool set are doing. And you're never going to get there. And what I realized so fast was like, who gives a shit who's cool? I'm just going to make all my stuff as if I was in that room with all those other dipshits. For instance, call myself the Draplin Design Company. Man, I'm just going to have fun with this. I'm not going to worry about what is and isn't the right thing to, to get me into the cool room. I'm just going to do it. So there's no risk. It's just fun. And basically things just got bigger and bigger to the point where I wasn't afraid to roll the dice on myself. And that's where Field Notes comes from. Because it was like, really, I just want to make my own little book. And if I make my own little book, because I need these, I use these. They're always in my pocket. They're always in, my stuff. I'm sketching for some shit today, and I use them and I live on them. There's no company in mind. I'm just going to go make my own. And a couple $1,000 to make that first couple thousand books. So now, when we're working on things and stuff, it's all about like in the red or in the black, right? And when you're in the red and you owe a bunch of money, I can't operate that well because I'm making decisions only based on paying back what I owe, right? So those were client jobs because they were solid footing. And you knew you were going to get you have to be on the clock. You can't be, talking like an asshole. You can't be whatever. You have to be good on your email. You have to be doing the job. That's how I got ahead. Like I got out of the red. Once I got out of the red into the black, it was like I could start spending my money on my own bullshit because it wasn't from a place of fear. But this ability to say, wow, what if I got myself completely away from being on the hook with someone else? Because when I make these things, it's just me taking the risk, me coming up with the stuff,